You guys remember that Australian women's netball league that had a sponsor that was pretty much funding the team for years, who they stabbed in the back and disowned because of something her dad said like 50 years ago? You guys, you remember them? You remember how the sponsor, I think it was Gina Reinhardt, I think, yes, like the owner of like one of the biggest, companies in Australia. Remember how her response to that was she basically said, "Okay, fine, I'm just going to take my money and go home." So she withdrew the sponsorship and left because they clearly didn't want her money anyway, right? Remember also how I covered how they got a little temporary lifeline from the government, like I think the Victoria government was putting them on the taxpayer dole for a while and financing at least some of their games. Well, we got another update, and it gets better. It gets so much better. Netball stars are sleeping in their cars after not getting paid for over 9 weeks, as a very unlikely sport steps in to help them financially during pay battle. Yeah, isn't this ironic too? Like they wouldn't be having this battle if they didn't drive away their sponsor. The Netball Straya pay dispute saga has reached a new low following revelations some players are sleeping in their cars after not receiving a wage for 9 weeks. Oh, okay, I have to say this. What do live streamers hear when they start slipping? When a live streamer starts fading away, getting less popular, making less money, maybe starts complaining about how they don't make as much money as they used to, what do live streamers get told? Like, lol, get a real job, loser. All you do is play games all day anyway. That's not even a real job. You realize you could use that same argument against any athlete, right? Like any sports ball player. Like, dude, you play a game for a living. Quit crying and get a real job. The only group that's acceptable to say to is streamers, huh? Former Diamonds captain Catherine Harby-Williams confirmed many super netball players are doing it tough. So no condom? No, as they face an uncertain future. While star defender and Australian Netball Players Association President Joe Weston burst into tears in front of TV cameras Thursday as the rawness of the situation hit home. Typical tactic, by the way. Put a remotely attractive woman on a screen and have her cry. And yeah, that solves a bunch of problems, actually. My fellow Diamond star Sophie Garbin also revealed the Australian Cricketers Association has stepped up to assist some players financially. Oh, cricket. Huh? Yeah, cricket's actually big in Australia, isn't it? It comes as Netball Australia and the Players Association have been locked in a bitter pay dispute for much of the year, with the previous collective player agreement expiring on September 30th. Well, this is the risk you take. You knew you weren't going to be getting paid until this new deal gets worked out. NA on Wednesday offered a deal which would have resulted in a proposed 11% raise, but Garbin spoke for many of her fellow stars when she said it was made a publicity stunt from the under pressure governing body. To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if pretty much everyone on this governing body was already looking for other jobs. Essentially, it's what they've been offering the whole time. I think it's a little bit of a PR stunt, to be fair. She told the wide world of sports. No, this actually does happen sometimes in a negotiation, especially when the other side finds out that you're under a lot of pressure to end it soon. Like they start out, they give you a bit of a lowball deal. Eventually, as time goes on, the negotiations go on. They give you slightly better deals. But there does come a certain point where they stop giving you any better deals, and then they start walking stuff back. Like as you get desperate, if the other side isn't anywhere near as desperate as you, and you slapped away all of their good deals, eventually when they figure out, you can't even pay your bills anymore, they're going to start offering you worse and worse deals, and they'll tell you too, hey, if you don't accept this deal, the next one's going to be even worse. It's your call. Either accept this now or accept something worse later. They've come out and said they're going to pay us, but it's still not a partnership. It's still not what we've been trying to achieve and asked for. They're gonna get this league completely shut down. By the way, because they what they want, from at least from what I can tell, is a communist takeover of the league. Like, no, we're not going to be your employees anymore. We're going to be part owners. You have to give up control. I bet those with money in this organization are just going to pull out instead. Like, nah. I think I'll take my money and do something else with it. But I think for them, the moment from what we've seen, they've been painted in quite a negative light, which they won't be happy with. So the sport is in disarray. And here's what I mentioned at the beginning. Sport is in disarray after mining magnate Gina Reinhardt pulled her $15 million sponsorship from the Diamonds in October of last year. Oh, what an evil woman. Why would she do that? Well, like I mentioned earlier, they attacked her. They blatantly bit the hand that was feeding them, and now they're paying the consequences right here. At the time, the team expressed concerns over comments uttered about First Nations people by Reinhardt's late father, Lang Hancock, in the 1980s. Yeah. Yes, so it's nothing she did. They canceled her because of something her dad said 40 years ago. And she made the smart decision, actually. I'll give her full credit there. She just said, if you guys are going to be this way, fine. You're not getting any of my money then. I was going to fund you guys probably for a multi-year deal. All you had to do was, wear my logo on your fucking jerseys while you run around playing games. If that's too much to ask, if you can't be bothered because of something my dad said 40 years ago, yeah, you know what? I think I'd rather spend my money somewhere else. An Indigenous player, Donald Wallen, was reportedly uncomfortable wearing the uniform with the Hancock Prospecting logo. Are you more or less comfortable with sleeping in your car, though, relative to wearing that logo? Harby-Williams, who was also the CEO of the Netballers Union, said the ongoing saga has taken its toll, with Weston's tears in front of the camera as a prime example. So we are desperate to get a deal done for these players because it's that's the emotional toll that you were seeing right there, she said. Well, and look, this was your mistake. You let the other side know of how desperate you are. Now they know that they could just keep giving you worse deals. Like, hey, you want to stop sleeping in your car? Accept the deal already. That's these women's. Hey, if we blackmail her with words of her father said, we can blackmail her into paying us more money. Brilliant, sister. I bet that was the full extent of these women's thinking. No, I think they were just trying to virtue signal. Like, I don't even know if they thought that far ahead. They just assumed someone else was always going to be there to take care of them. Found out the hard way that's not the case. I've had players sobbing and weeping. Players have slept in their cars. Players have had to move out of their homes and across the country back to families. So that's the toll this is taking on these players. It's a very fair and reasonable deal we are asking for. Well, it's also a fair and reasonable deal that they're offering you. Now, in a statement, Netball Australia Chief Executive Kelly Ryan said the governing body had listened to the players and their need for financial certainty right now. This offer we have put forward would allow them to be paid immediately while we continue negotiations with ANPA on building a financial model for the league, she said. Something tells me if they're arguing like this about the finances, I don't think this league is profitable, is it? I bet it's like the WNBA, huh? We hope this will provide all parties with the certainty and stability they seek. Man, why did you give in? Even if the public sees you as a villain, like, who cares? Like, this is the point where you say, oh, man, it sucks. You have to sleep in your car. You wouldn't have to do that if you just accepted our last deal, right? It wasn't a bad deal. It was pretty fair. As soon as you accept the deal, you could get back to work. Last Saturday, many Super Netball stars boycotted the sport's major awards night in Melbourne due to the messy pay dispute. Diamonds players only attended after they were threatened with legal action by NA if they didn't show up. Liz Ellis, another Aussie netballer great, expressed her disappointment earlier this week that the Diamonds players are forced to attend the ceremony for an award named in her honor. Well, maybe they should just change the name. So my disappointment and embarrassment at not being able to attend turned into anger when I was made aware that the current Diamonds players and their advisors were threatened with possible legal action if they didn't attend the dinner, Ellis said on Monday. Well, this I kind of have mixed feelings on. On the one hand, being forced to attend some fucking stupid ass function doesn't sit well with me, regardless of the situation. With one exception, and that's the other issue I have with this. If it's part of your job that you're expected to show up to some of these events and you refuse to do it, yeah, that's legal action right there. Well, what were they expecting would happen? So as the former Diamonds captain, I cannot believe the governing body of the sport I love would treat its Diamonds athletes, who are brilliant role models and ambassadors for netball, with such callous disregard. Hey, you guys are starting it, man. So Ellis also went on to question the leadership at Netball Straya. So yet again, netball finds itself in the headlines for the wrong reasons. Another crisis entirely of the sport's own making. Yeah, like the sponsorship one last year, right? So these women's super netball players have not been paid in 8 weeks. Well, guess what? They haven't worked in 8 weeks, have they? So they are fighting for fair pay and conditions, not only for themselves, but players who come after them. Questions must be asked. We need an immediate answer. I don't think you're going to like it, though, because the immediate answer might be, why are we subsidizing this shit that doesn't even make money? Why are we doing this? Like, these people don't bring in any money. They cost us money. Like, we're basically keeping them around as a fucking charity, like as a favor to them. And they keep demanding more. How about we just pull out? How about we just shut the whole thing down? That would fix so many problems.